What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I hope everybody's having a great day. Folks, last weekend, or last Saturday, we didn't have a podcast. This weekend may be questionable as well because my job now, my boss had bought another store. We're now setting that one up. That doesn't mean I won't be doing videos. Clearly, you can see I'm doing this one, right? If you don't hear anything from right around 2 o'clock on, there won't be a podcast. If I get in early enough, we're definitely going to have one. Okay, so we're going to take a good look at 67P, Chang'e. We've done a video on this before. We're going to do a series of these things. Why? There's so much on this rock to see. I'm going to let you folks decide what you believe is going on. Is it A, just nothing more than a rock, coincidental shapes? Is it alien structures on this rock? Or is it an actual spacecraft and we can see the features to it? Again, you folks be the judge. Let's just jump right into this. All right, you can see this photo right here, and this is from CDN, Science News, and it's, of course, 67P. Now, every time you look at this particular photo, meaning of this angle, or this side of it, call it what you will, there's always something different with it. Let's get a little closer. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So if we look at the bottom here, you can see there's really weird shapes here, especially right here in the lower right. Almost looks like a straight wall right here going on, right? Now, this one doesn't have the detail I thought it would have. It's a little different from the one I have. And again, trying to find the same exact one, it's not an easy task, but it can be done, right? So we're going to have a close look at this. I find this really, really interesting. If we go up, just wild-looking shapes. Now, for some reason, this one doesn't show the detail that the one I have in Photoshop does. However, it is pretty much the same angle. Go figure. Now, the one I have has a little bit better detail. What's funny about it is you're going to see this weird texture in this area I just talked about, which is right here. I'm going to go around it with the cursor right here in the lower right hand. Okay? Folks, crazy, crazy things. What we're going to do is we're going to start from the top of this and have a really good look. Let's just jump right into Photoshop. Okay, here it is right here, and you can see it's not as bluish. It does have a tinge of color. Now, this is from ESA. You can see it's a Rosetta, because remember the Rosetta spacecraft went there to investigate this rock, this comet, right? So these are supposed to be jets coming off of this. Anything from dust to like water vapor, right? Ice crystals, so on and so forth. I'm not so sure that's what this is, but let's just go with it, right? Okay, so the first thing had me thinking was when I saw this area up in here, I'm going to just circle a few things. And again, folks, pause it any way you like to have a good look at this stuff. Here, look at the little features inside here. Because when I looked at this, I said, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm going to get this close in. Folks can have a better look. This area. Folks, I'm going to show you the areas. And then I'm going to show you the full enhancement. And then you be the judge. There's something happening on this edge of this whited area just below it. Look at the shapes and look at them closely. Come down. Folks, I find this interesting too. If you look at this, these white little dots, okay? Now keep in mind, they're in the shade. Now that doesn't mean it can't get some kind of reflection from the bottom here, right? Up to, or up inside, I should say, of this shaded area, right? But they look more like lights. And again, you're going to see what I'm talking about in a moment. Something right here. Look at this area cut out right here. We have these series of little pieces down here. And we're going to just lighten that up just like that. And what looks like this rectangular artifact right here. Now, I thought this was pretty wild because it's lighter. And look at the shape of it. When you get down here, look at the texture. This is crazy. We don't see that here. Where's it at here in this photo? You don't see it, but it's not super clear. And this may be the reason why they put this texture on here. Now, there's a surprising cool little area inside one of these shaded areas. I'm going to get right to that in a second, too. Check this out. Look at inside these little areas. This area here. I find this interesting. If you zoom into this right here, look at the shape. It just doesn't make sense. It comes down. You can see how it comes down like this. And then back up. What is inside here? Look at it closely. There's a shape in there, folks. Crazy, crazy things. How about shapes like this, which doesn't even, it shouldn't even exist. Look at this. Folks, like I said, just this alone looks like some kind of weird structural thing going on. Notice we have these little pieces in the shadow. There's two of them kind of sticking up from this area. You can see it in the shadow. There's one bent down to the left and another one or two of them there as well. What is sticking up out of this thing? Okay. All right. Without further ado, let's jump right into the full enhancement. We're going to start from the top and come down. Okay, again, this area right here, put it right in the middle of the screen. Here. I'm not sure what's going on here. Now, if you look at the other one, where it has more of a bluish color I just showed you, you won't see this. You've got this item right here. Looks like some kind of pipe thing coming from one thing to another. Is it just a trick of shadows? Let's go with that. Let's say it is. Here. Seriously, look at the little square pieces right here. There's two of them. Okay. This square piece right here. These little white pieces inside, I pulled them out of the shadows. Other pieces right here, folks. Check this out. This is kind of cool. Look at the way these things are sticking up. Here. Look at this other funky shaped object right here. You got to take a close look. I'm going to zoom in just a hair bit in a second. Check that out. What is going on here? Okay. This object right here I told you about earlier. What could this possibly be? Again, this is supposed to be a rock. Nothing fancy. But yet this thing's sticking out of here that should not be in here. Back it up a little bit. Again, what are these here? Are these just pieces being reflected? Or are they lights? It's hard to tell. Again, we could have something shiny up here, and it just happens to be being reflected by this light here, going up to it, and of course is giving off a glow. Middle section. Check this out. Now, this here in the biggest circle, you can see that when I do this, they are absolutely there. I'm not sure. There's like a series of these little things. I'm not sure what the heck they are. See that? I'm going to go back and forth. But they're there. This piece right here. Looks like this weird monolithic block type thing sticking out. Is it in the original? Yes, it is. It's right there. Now, what I tried to do is burn through this area, and I'll tell you why. Look at the shape of this. When the right, straight over, you can still see it going down past this. Check that out. You folks see that? It literally comes down right here. You can see it through this manipulation. It actually has a straight line and going straight down. See that? All right, there's a color version of it. You can see that part. It is, in fact, there. Folks, just the weirdest little parts here. Check this out. Let's just zoom into this. This is cool. This right here. Check that out. Right there in the middle of the screen, circled. Okay? Weird looking objects here. Is it possible it's nothing more than stone and just has these weird shapes? This has looks of ornate. It doesn't look natural. This right here, this whiting out stuff, I don't believe that for a moment. Look inside here. Not sure what's going on inside of this. These weird funky shapes. Here's that shape I was telling you about earlier. Right in here. Almost looks like this weird upside down J, just the way it looks. You know that? Right there. A lot of stuff is just in the shadows. Now, folks, here's the best part of this as far as I'm concerned. Notice this area right here. If you look inside the shadows, there's something sitting right here. Almost looks like this weird barrel-type object, but it also has these other objects on the edge of these things. They have what look like squares and other objects inside here. Do you see this piece right here again with the arrow pointing at it? Right here. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this so we can see it a little bit better and then have a better look at it. Now usually when you rotate this thing, it doesn't make it quite as clear, but let's have a better look. Check this out, folks. Inside this area, look at the shapes of these objects in here. Now we're going to black and white it, desaturate. Check that out. Folks, this is not natural. I believe, in my personal opinion, I believe this is an artificial spacecraft, and if it's not, then there's alien structures on this comet. It's as simple as that. I'm going to put this thing back where it was. Check that out. Even if you have to tilt your head to the right here, you can see this. See that? Got the color to it and everything. I didn't add this color. This color is here. As far as I'm concerned, there's structures in there, and they did everything they can to try to hide it. But that is not natural. Back out a little bit. Folks, even down here. What's the chances of this having this weird shadow in this area right here? Look at the curvature of that. You folks see that? What are the chances of that being that perfect curvature? Now, I'm not saying it can't happen in nature. It's just when we see everything else that's in this photo, and then that added to it, it's hard to believe that that's just natural. This here. All these areas inside here. You can see what looks like squares and stuff like that. This here, to me, screams mechanical. Right there. And folks, like I said, we're going to do a series on these things because there's so much more going on. There's the color version. Check that out. That, to me, is not natural. And you can see that. They try to cover it up. This texture alone. See it? I'm going to go back and forth. Desaturated. There's something right here. See, sticking out of this, almost looks like a tower. Because if you look at this thing from a different angle, let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here. Now, it's hard to see this because, like this, comes down like this. And it's hard to tell whether there's something under this, because it looks like it gets darker here when you look at it. And it may be just the way the shadowing is, or a manipulation to try to hide it. It looks like it's darker there. But you can see something sticking straight out of this thing. It's white. See that? Yeah, I mean, come on. You got a pipe sticking out right here at the very top. At least it appears to be some kind of weird pipe or something sticking out. Folks, there's so much on here. You just have to pay attention to these holes and these areas on this rock. Some of it simply does not make sense. Zero. Show you this one more time. We're going to back out of this, and then I'm going to let you folks have the overall. Of course, it's hard to get the whole thing in there, but we're going to try right around there. Again, folks, pause it right here. Zoom in on your phone. Use your magnifiers, your Joules eyepiece, whatever it is that you use, and then check this out. And there you go. Folks, some of you have said, hey, Chris, can you look at 67P again? It's crazy. Now, I've done it in the past, a while back, okay, when they first had this mission. But there's so many angles the way that Rosetta spacecraft went around it, right? So there's so much to see. I'm going to do a series of these. And when you see the other shapes that are in here, you find it hard to believe that this is natural. There's just no way around it. Again, folks, in my opinion, what's going on here is either this is some kind of really funky rock and everything seems to be natural, which I highly doubt. 2, there's alien structures on this rock. Or 3, that this is an actual spacecraft and we're seeing different parts of it. As always, folks, let me know what you think. Drop your comments down below. I'm anxious to hear what you got to say. There's just too many things in this photo that scream intelligently made. Please like and share, always appreciated. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up so that YouTube shares it. Again, folks, we're going to have a series of this particular 67P, and we're going to see what's really on here. And some of the things I pulled out, you're going to like this. And again, I don't know if there's going to be a hangout Saturday at 3 p.m. I'm going to be really busy tomorrow and Saturday. You'll know by around 2-ish at the latest. If you don't hear nothing, there probably won't be one because we're getting all of the stock in, empty store, filling this thing up. It takes a lot of work to get this thing filled up. So I'm going to try my damnedest to get done and get in here. But if I don't, my apologies. It's just the way things fall. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm going to let you folks go. Thanks for watching. Always appreciated. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.